What is going on, y'all? Gamers Goon here today, and we are finally back with the Premier League. Now, let's talk about match week 1, and after that, we will talk a little bit about what my FPL team is going to look like, at least going into week 1. So, let's get into the match week. So, we're starting it off in 2 days, Liverpool versus Bournemouth. Liverpool, I'm going to be honest, even if they didn't add all the talent they did add, Florian Wirtz, all those guys, right? They'd still beat Bournemouth. Now, this is probably the second most disrespectful. The other one we'll get to in a little bit. Scoreline that I'm going to give. Liverpool's going to win this game 3-0. 3-0. I don't trust Bournemouth to get the job done. Miles Kirkes has gone there. They lost a few other guys as well. I don't see it with Bournemouth. I don't see them beating Liverpool. Now, I think Bournemouth will be solid. I think they'll be able to beat like the Burnleys, the Sunderlands, the Leeds, the Evertons. They're not beating Liverpool. I think Liverpool starts the season off hot. Then we get to Villa going up against Newcastle. Newcastle going to be without Alexander Isak this season as he looks to transfer away. Sounds like the writing is on the wall there. Don't expect him to play in this game. I think that evens it up a little bit with Villa. Villa's a talented enough team to beat Newcastle, but I think Newcastle can hold it down even without Isak. I'm going to give a draw here, 1-1. Then we get to Brighton going up against Fulham. I think Fulham is a gritty team. They're tough. Brighton, though, these are two middle of the table teams. I just seem to like Brighton a little bit more here. I'm going to give Brighton a 2-1 victory. I think it's going to be a really good game, though. Believe it or not, I'm not going to be completely disrespectful to Sunderland here. West Ham, I don't think is great. I think they're a good middle table team that has some room to potentially even grow. Kudus is no longer there. But Sunderland, I don't expect much out of. West Ham wins this game 2-0. Same thing here with Tottenham versus Burnley. I'm not going to be completely disrespectful to Burnley and have it be like some blowout. I think 2-0 is another really good line. Tottenham at times can lay on the goals, but at times you've also seen them kind of play to the level of competition. Tottenham's a good enough team to beat Burnley, though. I do know they lost Heung-min Son, but Tottenham there is going to win 2-0. Then we get to Man City going up against Wolves. Wolves, I have them on the relegation line. They are not a great team. We'll see what they can do. Man City, I don't think they're as good as they were like 2 years ago. Obviously, we saw last year they kind of fell down a little bit. At the end of the day, you still got Holland and you still got Pep Guardiola. This team is going to start off the season hot. They're playing one of the lower table teams here in Wolves. I expect this to be a 4-0 just beating. I expect Man City to go out there and just really prove, hey, yeah, we might not be the Man City from 2 or 3 years ago, but guess what? We're still the Man City you should be worried about because we can light on the goals. Chelsea versus Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace probably without Eze for this game. There's been rumors and stuff about Eze being transferred, Arsenal being the main team there. There's been some other teams to pop up. It hasn't ever really gotten off the ground. It seems like Eze wants out, but it never really has gotten off the ground. So I'm not sure if Eze is going to play this game. Either way, if he does or not, I think Chelsea wins 2-1 is probably a fair scoreline. I think it's going to be a good game, but Chelsea, I do think, just has the pure talent to get over the edge regardless. I think they're going to have a really good season this year. Next, we have Nottingham Forest going up against Brentford. Nottingham Forest, obviously one of the surprises of last year. Brentford, on the other hand, they're okay. They're in the middle table, mid-table team there. I just like that Nottingham Forest team. I don't think Brentford's bad necessarily. I just think Nottingham Forest might be able to edge this one out. I'm going to go 1-0 in the favor of Nottingham Forest. Next, we get to my Arsenal going up against Manchester United. Manchester United brought in Šeško, and we brought in Victor Gyökeres and Mascara and Kepa, and we brought in Zubamendi, and we brought in Noni Madueke. I think with Arsenal, I think we do win this game 2-1, but I do not think that Arsenal's going to play some like spectacular game here. I think it's going to be a close one. I think it's going to be a victory, but I don't think Arsenal is going to be in a spot where they're sitting there talking about like, "Oh wow, this team is okay." My phone is going crazy. It's got to be on mute. I don't think it's going to be something crazy where Arsenal's like going to be going crazy against United and everybody's like, okay, well, Arsenal's a team to watch. I think there's going to be some meshing together issues early on, right? We saw Victor Gyökeres just score his first goal in the last game. I think it's gonna take some time to get everybody to gel together because obviously there's so many new faces there, and you expect Zubamendi and Gyökeres to be like crucial faces. Now, I mean, you're hoping that maybe Noni Madueke can develop, but you don't expect him to probably be a starter. You don't expect Mascara to be a starter. You're probably going to be the backups there to, well, Mascara would be the backup for Saliba and Gabriel, and then Madueke probably for Bukayo Saka. So there, I mean, Kepa as well, just a backup to Raya, but there's going to be you're working people in, so I wouldn't be shocked if this is not like a great product, but you do get the job done. Then we are going to close it off with Leeds versus Everton. Everton, I think, just picked up Jack Grealish. Leeds, out of all the teams that just got promoted, I think they have the best chance of staying up. Leeds, though, I'm not like super high on, but they're playing Everton. Out of all the new teams that are in the Premier League, they probably have the most favorable matchup. I don't think Everton is some world beaters or anything. I'm going to give Leeds the benefit of the doubt and say this is a 1-1 draw. So that is my week 1 predictions for that. Now, you're going to see my OBS for a split second here, and we're going to talk about my FPL team. My FPL team here. We are going to be starting Areola in goal. He's more my backup goalkeeper, but he does have a good matchup against Sunderland. Gabriel, always had to bring Gabriel onto the FPL team, especially because he gets those headers potentially against Manchester United. I don't love it, but I didn't really like my other options. We got Jared Branthwaite against Leeds. I think that's going to be a good play. And then I had to add Virgil. I think Virgil's going to be a good play this week. And Virgil, somebody that will have long-term value on the bench. Or, well, not on the bench, but like in my starting lineup and potentially on the bench as well. We did bring in Cole Palmer because I think he's one of the best midfielders in terms of getting goals. Mohamed Kudus we did bring in because I think he is another goal threat. Morgan Rogers we brought in. Now he is injured at the moment. But he is another guy that I think very highly of and can go get me some goals. And I do like Matoma as well. I feel like Matoma is always on my FPL team. First time for this entire line here is Wood. Chris Wood had a pretty good year last year. He's going to be the striker there for Forest. I think Brentford's also a good matchup for him to get a goal. Victor Gyökeres, obviously, first year in the Premier League, so it's obviously his first year on my FPL team. But against Manchester United, I just have him on here because, look, he's at 9. I don't know what Haaland's at, but, like, if he puts up Haaland numbers for only 9 is crazy. 9 million? That's crazy value. And then we got Dom Solanke here, who is going to be a goal threat. I think he's on a team where he definitely can produce. And against a team like Burnley, I do expect him to have a good fantasy output. Raya had to be coming off the bench for this one, Manchester United. But for the most part, probably will play a lot of games for me. Munoz here against Chelsea, Daniel Munoz. I think Palace is going to be a solid defensive team. There's a lot of teams I would take him and start. Like if he's going up against like an Everton, I would play him. But he's playing Chelsea, one of the more goal-scoring teams, and I don't think the team around him is that good. We did bring in Konsa as well, who I do really like. And then we brought in Eze, which I might have to move at some point if he joins Arsenal, but as I think one of the safer midfield options, goal scoring threat, you name it. So, anyways, that's the video. Match week 1. That's my FPL lineup. That's my lineup for the match week. Who I think is gonna win. So let me know down below. Who do you think is gonna win in week 1? This video will be coming out on Thursday. So look out for that, and then we will be doing the same thing for the rest of the year. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.